welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm Courtney Ann. Okay, so I haven't done a book video in a little bit. I've been doing more vlogging, which is what I love to do, and I mean I love book videos as well. I just haven't gotten around to it. But I read all of these books in March, even though it's now like April 24th or something as I'm filming this, maybe 27th, I don't know. It's late in April, okay, and this is my March reading wrap up, so it's a little late, but that's okay because I wasn't in the mood, okay, and I've generally, oh my gosh, this month I haven't been in a reading slump, but like all I've basically read is manga, and then maybe like I read Daisy Jones and the Six, I read Restore Me, and I read The Liar. That's it. I'm currently reading 2 books, so we're getting back, but not the point. Anyway, so this is going to be my little March reading wrap up. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so my first book of the video is going to be Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. I actually originally had made an entire video just about this book, talking about it because I loved it so much, but ended up scrapping it and never posting it. But I did spend like 10 minutes talking about it, so I'm going to try to make this short because I adore this book. I ended up giving it 5 stars. It's essentially a memoir about that follows Mitch Albom as he had this college professor that he was really close with, and then that he kind of promised to keep in touch with, but of course never did. And he later finds out through a Nightline interview, I want to say, like he's like so his professor gets diagnosed with, I forget the name of the disease, but I believe it's the same thing that Stephen Hawking had, where you kind of do like lose control over your muscles, I believe. Once again, haven't read a lot of these books in a while because this is a very late, like review, so just keep that in mind as I go through this. But anyway, I did end up giving this 5 stars. It's one of the few books I believe like literally every single person should read, regardless of your stance on anything, regardless of like literally who you are, what you're doing. Like everyone should read this book. Like it's so beautiful. It truly like reminds you how grateful you have to be for so many things that you take for granted, like the fact that you can simply just breathe without struggling. Like it was so beautiful. But I'm sorry, I never finished my synopsis of like what it's about. I'm so sorry. Okay, so basically his professor, of course, is diagnosed with this horrible disease, and he decides to reconnect with his professor. So all of these are like little lessons and stories that he learns through those like last few months or days with his professor. They would meet every single Tuesday and kind of have like his like one final class or whatever, right? And once again, so beautiful. One of the most touching books I've read this year. I mean, once again, I also have like Before the Coffee Gets Cold and The Sun Is Also a Star, which I think are also very touching books, but I think that these are like my top 3 of like the most beautiful books that I've read this year. I love this. Thank you, Mitch Albom, so much for like sharing this story, and this had me sobbing. So like if you just want a book that like reminds you how beautiful life is, and you know, not to take things too much for granted, and a book that will make you cry, I think this one's perfect for you. Okay, and then after that, the total other end of the spectrum, I read another thriller this year. This is my second Freedom McFadden book that I had read. This is One by One, and it basically follows this friend group who, like, they're all busy in, like, their lives. The main character has, like, 2 kids and her marriage is kind of struggling, and she's actually cheating on her husband with his best friend. And they all decide to go on, like, this trip together to this very nice, like, resort. Her best friend and her best friend's boyfriend, Warner, I believe, are coming. Sorry, once again, it's been a little while since I read this, and I think I read it in, like, a day. So, like, my memory of it's a little ugh. But anywho, and then her husband and her are going, and then her husband's best friend and his wife. So it's, like, the 6 of them are all going on this trip to this really nice resort. Her and her husband are obviously struggling in their marriage, so she's, like, talking about, like, oh, we should get separate rooms, right? And it's all from her perspective. Then you also get these chapters that's, like, from, I guess, like, I don't want to say, like, murderer, but, like, basically, like, the murderer's perspective. I actually enjoyed this as a thriller. Oh, sorry. And then also on their way to the hotel, the car breaks down and they get kind of like stuck in the woods. So I will say it has a cabin on the front, and I was really excited for that because I love like horror, or like not horror, but like thriller books, like really good settings. Okay, like if it has a really good setting, I'm good. And I feel like once again I've read more Freedom McFadden books since now, and I've really enjoyed about her is that she has really good settings. This one, they're in a cabin for like the last couple chapters, okay? Like most of this takes place in the woods. So if you're okay with that, I'm just saying I think that this is misleading, and I was a little upset over that. That's not part of the review though. But anywho, I will say there was a good plot twist. Like I wouldn't have guessed that plot twist, right? but it also, like, I felt like it had a lot of plot holes for that plot twist, because it was like, once again, there's a lot of other plot twists where I can read it and like it's so unpredictable, like it works crazy well, okay, like it still makes sense. This felt like it didn't make sense, like, I don't know, it just felt so disconnected from the book. And what did I say? Oh, it felt unsatisfying, because like there were so many plot holes with it that like it didn't really work. Once again, I would have never guessed it. Though this didn't make me really scared. Like, I've read other books, like I'll be reading them and like I genuinely like feel scared while reading them. I don't know. This didn't fully give me that. So it's not my favorite thriller, but like I read it in a day. It wasn't bad. It wasn't a waste of my time. I still liked it. I think I gave it like 3 stars. So, and there were a few points where were kind of funny, but once again, I think it was just kind of unsatisfying. Okay, and then next, to redeem Freida McFadden, because I'd earlier read The Housemaid by her in January, read it in under 24 hours, loved it, so then I tried One by One. Obviously that one, I was not as impressed. But The Inmate, I gave this 4.5 stars. I love this. It had me on the edge of my seat, like, the entire time. So good. So this is basically, what is it, girl's name Bree or something? Or Brooke, that's what it is. Okay, so it follows Brooke, who had this high school boyfriend who was accused of, like, being, like, this crazy psychopath murderer, and now he's, like, in, what's it called, like a psych ward, or, maximum security prison. And she ends up, I forget, like, why they're showing, anyway, so here's the crazy drama about this book. So once again, she has like that boyfriend, and he once again gets accused of like killing these people, right? And actually like strangling her, because that's like she never saw the person who strangled her, but like she's like, oh, it smelled like him, I know it's him. So then she accused him. He went to jail, right? So now he's in this maximum security prison, and she ends up getting a job there to support her son, who's also his son that he doesn't know about. Lots of drama. Anywho, and then so there's this other guy who's like her best friend that was also at like this big sleepover, like a ton of people died, right? And they blamed it all on like her boyfriend at the time. And the guy so then her best friend, she starts reconnecting with him because she kind of moves back to her old town, and that's when she starts working at the maximum security prison. So her best friend, her old best friend, right? She starts hanging out with him, and then when she's seeing, like, her ex or whatever, like, at this maximum security prison, he's, like, telling her he didn't do it, the best friend did, and the best friend is telling her, like, oh, don't believe him, like, he did. They're both, like, kind of, like, pointing. Anywho, I will say, I got really annoyed, because she kept going back and forth where she's like, oh my gosh, I figured it out, he's the murderer. And then they would say, like, one sentence that's like, don't trust him, and she's like, oh my gosh, he's not the murderer, it's him. And I was like, make up your mind. Okay, like, I don't know, it got a little repetitive in that sense where I got, like, really annoyed, but at the same time, I didn't know who it was, okay, and I was literally going back and forth, too. I was so confused, so I really, really like this. What else did I say about it? Yeah, I talked about complaining already. Oh, the plot twist at the end. So there's kind of, like, this epilogue, the epilogue, everyone talks about it, has your jaw on the floor. And this was another one where that epilogue kind of reminded me of like the nature versus nurture debate, which I feel like you can also see in one of the last lines in The Housemaid, which like I'm obsessed with. So Freida McFadden, this is the second time that I've seen her like use nature versus nurture in her books, like just over like one line, and I really, really like that. Yeah. Anywho, I would recommend this. I thought it was really good. It was like, it's a little thicker thriller than like obviously other ones, but it's so worth it. I really enjoyed this. Once again, 4.5 stars. I think because I was already like on a thriller, like, you know, high or whatever, I picked up Never Lie by Freida McFadden. I also apologize, this one's a little, dirty, because it's used. Actually, all of these books are used, yeah. This one I got from my local, like, little, like, $2 bookstore. This is also from there. And then these two are from this amazing, like, little used bookstore in North Conway that oh my gosh, I spent so much money there. It was amazing. Anywho, Never Lie. So this is another thriller that I had picked up. I think they gave this one 4 stars. So I spoiled the plot twist for myself, as one does. I spoil everything for myself, though. What else is about this? Oh yes, this was truly an emotional roller coaster. It's basically, okay, so this couple, Trisha and Ethan, are looking at a new house. They're like newlyweds. I think they're, what is it, like a year or 6 months? They haven't been together that long. Okay, they're very, like, you know, anywho. And so they're going to tour like this house. It's basically this giant mansion that this psychiatrist or whatever like used to live in, and it's very creepy. Okay, so their car on the way there, like, it's snowing, or their car doesn't break down, but like it's snowing and they realize that they can't get back. So they decide like I forget if they find a key, somehow they get into the house, okay, or maybe it's already unlocked, which is even creepier. Anyway, the realtor doesn't meet them at the house, okay, like that, it never happens, never see her, right, which she was supposed to. So now they're stuck here in like this snowstorm at like this random like giant mansion that used to own to this like famous psychiatrist, who was also like a really well-known author for like her books on like mental whatever. Anywho, not the point. So they're like staying at that house, and the wife ends up finding this like secret nook in there that has all these tapes of the like psychiatrist's like sessions with her patients, and starts listening to them. And there's a few characters like that you kind of like learn, I guess, through the tapes, and she starts suspecting that her husband like might have kind of like plotted like this whole thing to like get her. Anywho, really really good. I really like this. The plot twist, once again, I obviously already knew about it, but if you did, like, it was a really good plot twist if you didn't know about it. Yeah, this book had me staring at the wall. I really really liked this. Like, I don't know, I'm just saying, as far as thrillers go, this was a really good one, and it actually is one I feel like did kind of like creep me out while I was reading it, so I enjoyed that. But yeah. Okay, so this one I don't know if I would exactly call this a thriller, horror, or like what I would put this under, okay, or maybe even just literary fiction, but it's by R.F. Kuang, so like you already know that this is going to be amazing. So anyway, this follows June Hayward and her friend Athena something, I'm forgetting Athena's last name. Anywho, sorry, all the back just has is like all the amazing reviews because this book is incredible. But anyway, so once again, oh wait, I'm on the right page. So such a thought-provoking book. Like, you read from kind of like the perspective of someone who like would be like a villain, like you really disagree with, but like at the same time, like when she gets caught, you're most scared for her because once again, like you're in her perspective. So it was a really cool like perspective to be reading from. I gave this one 4.5 stars, but wait, did I? Oh yeah, contemporary fiction or thriller. Okay, there we go. Anyway, so follows June Hayward and her friend Athena, who are both like these like Yale graduate like prodigy writers, right, or like we're Yale prodigies, like they're gonna go be like these famous writers. And I promise this is important. So it follows June Hayward as like the main character, and she once again was like this, like her and Athena were like top of their class. They're kind of frenemies, right? Like they're friends and like they hang out, but like they secretly just really don't like each other. And so her friend Athena is like becomes like this like very successful author, like immediately out of college, is getting like all these book deals, and is currently working on what's going to be her next greatest masterpiece, which I think was about it's sorry, once again, it's been a while since I read this book, but it's like Athena's writing a book that's like historical fiction, I want to believe, or like historical fantasy of Chinese migrant workers, I want to say, at the front lines, I believe. And June originally has published one book, I believe, called Over the Sycamore Tree, which was based on her life and like her sister and hers relationship. It did not do so well. It kind of fell out. So like she's very jealous of Athena and Athena's success, and obviously Athena's getting these new book deals. So anyway, they're hanging out the entire time. June is just like, I hate her so much, right? Or, like, just very jealous of her, like she doesn't deserve her success, she's pretentious, like whatever, right? Just hating on her friend. So then they're at I'm normally way faster with descriptions. Like when I'm talking to my friends about this, I go way faster. I don't know, I have a camera in front of me, so but anywho, not the point. So they're like hanging out at Athena's house, and they start making pancakes. Like they're just having fun, drinking wine, talking, being actual friends for a few seconds, right? And I forget what they're doing. For some reason they have like some pancake eating contest, and Athena chokes on a pancake and dies. But of course with like pancakes, it kind of becomes like cement in your throat, so like I'm like ain't doing nothing. Okay, this actually gave me a fear. Like I looked up what to do when you choke on a pancake after reading that, because I was like, what do you mean? So anyway, Athena dies. And right before Athena had died, she so Athena's writing process, whenever, like, once again, that's the one who's like this super stellar, you know, amazing, like, writer, whatever, that June is jealous of. So June watches Athena die, but right before Athena died, she had lended June her manuscript to be the first person to ever read it. She was always very secretive about her writing and never really let anyone read it. So like no one would know that was hers. So because of that, June just starts reading it and realizes that she should make a few changes, and she basically rewrites some of the books between what she thought was like, oh, I should fix this, and she, you know, changes up the manuscript, but still Athena's manuscript, and basically ends up publishing that book on her own under her name, giving no credit to Athena, her like dead friend now, and people start like calling her out on it, right? Especially keep in mind, I didn't mention this I think before, but Athena was Asian, June is Caucasian or white, and so they started obviously calling her out because a lot of the things in that book were based on, I believe, like Chinese history, and so it was a lot about like cultural appropriation, racism, and then cancel culture, because people start canceling June for that. You know, about how like, oh, it's kind of weird that you wrote that book. And then also people start recognizing there's a lot of similarity between June's new book and Athena's older works, and start calling her out for plagiarism and things like that. Really, really good. Okay, like once again, such a thought-provoking book. It was, once, like I said before, really interesting to read from like the perspective of someone who's like kind of like this villain for stealing her friend's manuscript. And it's also so weird to like see how like she tries to like justify her actions and like her racism. Like, what is wrong with you? But once again, R.F. Kuang is a mastermind. I love her writing, and I literally like I want to read every book that she's ever written because she's so good. Okay, so anyway, I really enjoyed this. Once again, it touched a lot on like cancel culture and cultural appropriation. So it was really, really interesting to read, and I would definitely recommend this one. It was so good. Probably one of my favorite books of that month. Okay, so next is This Is How You Lose the Time War. Also, because this is by two authors. Look how cool their author photo is. I love it. But anyway, this actually has been on my TBR since I was maybe 12. So before Lauren Roberts was an author, she used to make like these book videos, and I would always watch them through like reposted TikToks on Pinterest, right? When I was like in middle school. And so this was one of the books that she recommended. She's like, oh, it's tiny but mighty, it's so good. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, sci-fi, lesbians, I want to read it, right? So I've had this on my TBR for years and years and years. Finally got my hands on it when we went prom dress shopping, and like read it in like 2 days maybe, or maybe it was only 1 day. I read this really fast. Wait, yeah. Anywho, so good. It's, once again, it's tiny, it won't take up too much of your time. It's basically about these two, okay, here's my little synopsis for it, right? So it's these two agencies that basically can time travel, into sci-fi. So once again, sci-fi lesbians, you should already be running out to buy this book. Anywho, sorry, I'm getting to the point. So there's like Agent Red, Agent Blue, and they both work for these agencies. One of them is called the Agency, and one of them is called the Garden, who both have the goals for like having a different outcome for the future. So the Agency wants more like technology based future, while the Garden wants something that's a little more environmental and like, you know, based on that. So both of the agents have to go back in time to change little things about the past to get the like the outcome that they want for the future, and these are both the top like agents at their agencies, making them rivals. So they start leaving like letters for each other on like these little missions, and basically fall in love through the letters that they write to each other. So beautiful. I'm telling you, this book is written like freaking poetry. So good. I think I give this like 4 stars. I love it. Once again, it's tiny but mighty. Literally written like poetry. Okay, it's so good. Okay, and then after that, I read my third Mujalban book, which was The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, and I'm so disappointed to say I think this is my least favorite book by him. Like before this, okay, like I was like, he's like my favorite author. I love, like, not my favorite author, that's Taylor Jenkins Reid. Okay, she's my queen. But I was obsessed with Mitch Albom books, okay, and like I was on a Mitch Albom high. I love Mitch Albom, and I still do. Okay, I still adore his books. I'm still reading his books and picking them up. I'm actually currently trying to read Finding Chica, which is about him and his wife who adopt this girl who happens to be terminally ill, and like their experience with that. I'm barely into it. Once again, I'm reading like other things right now, so I kind of postponed that because I wasn't in like a memoir mood, right? Not the point. The point is, I'm so sad because this is like really popular. I had really high expectations for this, and like it should be just an easy read. It was my least favorite book by him. I wouldn't say I hated it, but like it didn't capture me, or really like, I feel like a lot of his books that I read, they have like a really deep effect on me, and like, I don't know, I leave the book with like this like beautiful lesson about life, right? Or like at least some like new idea, right? Like it truly changes my perspective on at least something. This one, I don't know, I had no emotional connection to it. I had like, it didn't give me anything in the same way that his other books did, but at the same time, I obviously read some really good books by him beforehand, so maybe that just gave me like a really high expectation. I don't know. Anywho, there's also what really upset me. There's this one scene that was, I don't know, like, okay, I won't spoil it, but like, there was just the author and the characters, I feel like, were trying to justify something that I strongly disagree with. And like, don't get me wrong, they weren't saying it was a good thing, but they were like, oh, like, it's okay that it happened, right? Like, this person was just in a bad mood, or like, you have to think about it from his perspective. And I was like, you should still never do that. Like, anywho, I don't know, there's just that one scene where like, I was generally like really upset about that, because I was like, I didn't like that they were trying to justify it, right? Anywho, what else did I say about it? Oh, yes, I did like the ending, though. So what made this book a 3-star versus, like, a 2-star or 1-star was I do like the ending. I do like how you kind of watch him, like, Eddie come to, like, appreciate his life, and I thought the ending was really beautiful, but, like, I'm so sad because I had really high hopes for this book. Like, I generally, Okay, and then after that, my friend Mayla introduced me to the Spy Family manga. I had actually never read manga before, but since about a year ago, during Christmas time, so like during my sophomore year, I've been saying, oh, I really want to get into manga, I've been really interested in reading manga, and then I just never got around to it. So, this allowed me to finally do it. She's like, I'm gonna lend you my books, you can read them. I ended up buying them myself afterwards from Half Price Books. These are so cute. Okay, I really love these. Once again, I was already trying to get into manga, but thank God she pushed me to, especially with these ones, because these were not, like, on my TBR or anywhere, you know, like, but, like, they're so good. I would totally recommend them. Once again, I found them at Half Price Books for, like, $4.99, so, like, they're pretty popular. There's actually an anime about them, too, so, like, and they're still ongoing, so there's always new stuff we found out, but it's basically follows Lloyd, Anya, and Yor, who are kind of like this pretend family, or become this pretend family. So Lloyd Forger is like his like fake name, his real name, not his real name, but like his, so Lloyd Forger is like a spy, but like that's obviously his fake like analysis, as his like spy code name or whatever is Twilight. You never actually get to know his real name even now, and we're on like chapter, the 15th one just came out. I have it up there. I haven't read it yet, but, or maybe I did, I don't know. Anywho, I mean, I spoiled it, but like, whatever. Anywho, I think we're on like chapter 135 or something by now. Anywho, so he gets the mission to, so like, how do I explain this? So like, they live in this country, is it Westeria? Or some fantasy magical land, and they're split up between the East and the West, which there's like a lot of tension between them. Like they used to have a war when Lloyd and Yor were much younger. There was a war going on, which is actually how he like kind of later became a spy. But anyway, and they're trying to like make sure those tensions don't lead to another war. So there's this very powerful figure, I forget his name, but anyway, and that powerful figure has his child Damien going to this pristine school of Eden, right? So Lloyd's job is to find a wife, find a child, get that child into this really prestigious school, and then either have her become this like imperial scholar through getting these things called stellas, like when you get really good grades, or like you do like this like really good act of kindness, you get a stella. If you get enough stellas when you're older, you become an imperial scholar, which will allow him to make contact with like the suspect, who's Damien's father, or he wants her to become friends with Damien, so then he can become in contact with Damien's father, right? So cute. Like, they keep on trying to deny that like they're a real family, but it's like, just realize that you all love each other so much. And where is it? There's one of my favorite panels is him and his like daughter. Like, this is literally his daughter, bro. Like, you can't fool me. But where is it? And it's the cutest thing ever. I love these. Okay, and then also on the other characters, I've only talked about him. So then there's also Yor, who is his wife, or like who he finds to be his like pretend wife, right? And she knows about the arrangement. She doesn't know that he's a spy though, and he doesn't know that she's an assassin. It's like, so good. And then their daughter, Anya, who ends up like adopting from this orphanage or whatever to like pretend to be his daughter to get into the school at Eden. I think that's how you say it. I could be saying this wrong. I also watched the anime, so I think I'm saying it right, but like I haven't seen an episode in like a week or two. So it's been a little bit, maybe a week, because I've been having a Hunger Games movie marathon. That's not the point though. The point is, his daughter Anya is also a telepath. So like this whole family is so cool. And then they get a dog, and the dog also has a special power, but I won't spoil it. So good. Like, listen, these are so cute. Anyway, also, here's him and his daughter. Look how adorable they are. Yeah. You can't tell me that's not, like, actually your, like, related daughter. Like, no. He's like, no, it's just for the mission. We're just a fake family. Shut up. You love them. Like, be so for real. Anyway, I don't even know. So I also have to read them online because I only own 1, 2, and 15. But I think I'm on, like, volume 13, 12, something like that. I'm, you know, almost some of this. I've been looking at these 2 other mangas that I'm looking at reading. So maybe I'll do one of those soon. So I'm excited. But anyway, those are all the books that I read this month. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry this came out so late. The April one will obviously be very soon. So that one I already just told you guys the books I'm reading. So maybe if I can finish these ones soon, there'll be more books in that wrap up. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!